Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tim here from High Noons Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl dude. So let's get into it real quick. Just a quick update to show some of the things I've been picking up pretty much during lockdown and while record stores are closed. Most of these, I believe, no, I'd say about half of these probably came through the mail, and some of these I've had sitting around for a minute. And what I try to do is metal updates kind of together, because I know that there's some people who I'm friends with and they watch, but the metal stuff is kind of where they're at. So I try to lump it together for them because I love them. I love everybody. Big hug. Anyway, tonight, I think I've showed this before, but in case I haven't, this is what I'm spinning while I'm talking. Ozzy Second, we all know it well. Diary of a Madman. You can't go wrong with Ozzy. At least not this era. So that's what I'm spinning. Probably won't be needle drops because, the metal copyrights suck. So, all right, so let's get into it. Not really metal, but they are hard rock. And let's face it, in the 70s, if they were that hard, you probably wouldn't want to lump them into metal. And later they were lumped into, anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. One of the most influential killer live albums of all time, Deep Purple's Made in Japan. This was recorded August 72, over like 3 or 4 nights in Japan from the band. Came out here, I believe, in 73. This is a later reissue. But it sounds fantastic, and definitely drove the family nuts as I was spinning this one. So I picked this one up a little bit ago. What was that? Foundation. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, I picked that one up from Foundation on a good price. And I believe this also came from Foundation. Again, another hard rock band from the 70s, but hard rock, you kind of get lumped into that. I know some people say hard rock is different from metal. Yeah, whatever. Thin Lizzy's killer album, Jailbreak. I think this was their 6th. This was what, 75? 76, excuse me. The one that really kind of broke them big here in the U.S., which they never really had as much success after this. I mean, you had Jailbreak, you had The Boys Are Back in Town, but I'm slowly adding more and more Thin Lizzy to the collection because they just kick ass. So glad to pick this one up, Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak. Save that one. So this one I know came from Foundation because I couldn't believe the price, and I paid $5 for this, and the cover is, I'd call this poor, but the vinyl was decent, and it's a good player copy to have until I can upgrade it, because I didn't have this even on CD. It was lost a long time ago, and but I'm glad to have this back, and I spin it loud and proud. So as you can see, the cover is pretty piss poor, but Dio's the last in line. The vinyl was decent, so if I find a nice copy with a good cover, I can Frankenstein a clean one. If not, then if the vinyl's better, then I can send this off to whoever may need one. But it's a good placeholder for now because I was really itching to hear this album. And like I said, I didn't even have it on CD. I mean, you can't go wrong with Dio. I mean, his first 3 solo albums, Holy Diver, this, and Sacred Heart, are probably, 10 plus out of 10? I mean, they're just killer. So glad to have this one finally back in the collection. And I've spun it a bunch, so Dio. He's probably one of my top, he is one of my favorite singers of all time, of any genre. Dio is just ridiculous. So we'll do this one next. I know I picked this one up at Foundation. This one was a $5 all day long. Not a bad album from Rat, Dancing Undercover. This was their 3rd full length. They had the Rat self-titled EP, but their 3rd full length. Body Talk, Dance. I mean, we all know this one. This one was 86. I mean, there's not really much to talk about on this one. So there's another shop here locally. I don't go to them as often. They're called Remix Records. They tend to cater more towards the dance, the DJs in the area, which is fine. I mean, I listen to that stuff too, but it's a lot of EDM. It's a lot of drum and bass and that kind of stuff, which again doesn't bother me, but I don't tend to buy it as much. I can stream it and whatever, and I'm fine. But they do occasionally have stuff that I will pick up from them, so they're kind of part of my secondary rounds. And they had this one and the next one in their 50% bin, which at original prices were insane, but at 50% made a lot more sense. So I grabbed both of them. This one, the first one I'm gonna show, being the Power and the Glory from, not the Power and the Glory, just Power and the Glory from Saxon. This is actually a UK pressing. I think it says it on somewhere on the bottom. But even on the inner sleeve it says made in Great Britain. It's got that very flimsy feel to it. But the vinyl was super clean. And I want to say it was like, I don't know, $15. So it was nice to get a first UK press of Power and the Glory. Just a killer album. I think this was is this their fourth or their fifth? I want to say fifth, I don't remember. But this one was 82, 83. I'm probably screwing all this up. 83. I was gonna say Rob at Black Star Brown was probably yelling them out and just telling me to shut up. Anyway, 83's album, Power and the Glory. Glad to add that one. But they also had this Saxon, Rock the Nation. So, pound for pound, I would definitely say this is a better album. This one's a US press, but it is a gold stamp promo. So again, a nice first US press. The title track on this one's just absolute killer. But the whole album, I think both albums are good. In fact, I think Saxon on the whole is a very consistent, strong metal band that, I think most people who know metal enjoy them, they listen to them, but just for me, consistently, they bring the goods. So added a couple more to the hopefully still growing Saxon collection. And then the last three I did pick up through mail order fairly recently. And I say mail order more like along the lines of, it's been my home shop away from home. They've really been hooking me up with a lot of good stuff. And I've talked about her before. Her name's Kathy. She runs a shop in New York called Music and More Records. I kind of follow them on Facebook, and she'll just share some incredible stuff. And sometimes I just can't beat the prices. And what's nice is that she kind of works with me. She'll hold a box for me for 3-4 weeks and let me fill it up and just kind of charge me a flat. So it's really nice. Like I said, Music and More Records. They're out of upstate New York. You can follow them on Facebook. She does shipping. She's a one-person show. She knows her stuff. She's heavily into the metal and rock and stuff like that. Go check them out. Really worth your time. And then these three I picked up from her. I picked up the EP from Raven's Mad. This is 86, I believe. Yeah, this one came out right after. I can't remember the name of it now. It's the one with them in the locker room, and it was pretty much received as a stinker. They put this one out just kind of like a big F you to the critics and the sales, but this one is definitely harder. This one's definitely got a lot more of that speed and that hard hitting that you would expect from Raven. So glad to have this one. Then I picked up, and I just couldn't deny it. It was a killer price, and I couldn't say no because this fucking album kicks ass. This is Loudness, Thunder in the East. It is a little bit of a saw cut, punch out, whatever. I don't care. Vinyl was super clean. This was the first that they got major distribution here in the U.S., and this is the first that I had ever heard of them, was this album. I think this might have even been their first English album. I remember when this came out and I heard it and I was blown away, and I was just like, these guys kick ass. And then I had some friends who were like, oh yeah, they're pretty good for a Japanese band. I'm like, they're pretty good for a band from no matter where they're from. They kick ass. And I loved this album. I had it on cassette, and I've said a million times before, I lost all my cassettes. But this album, just absolute killer. I need to get more loudness, to be perfectly honest. You know, to me, it's, yes, the lyrics are important and it's nice to be able to hear in English, but this is one of those bands that's like, y'all can sing whatever the hell you want to sing. You just kick ass. So I love this album. Glad to pick it up. And then lastly, the last one I picked up from her was this one. And I think I showed it on Facebook. And Steve at Value Vinyl kind of gave me the "you son, dirty dog, son of a" when I showed it. And that's Yngwie Malmsteen's third album, Trilogy. Again, this was my personal introduction to Yngwie. It's on Polydor. But I show it for a reason here in just a second. So this was actually, well, not was, it still is. It's not like it stopped being. This is a gold stamp promo. You see right here. So on Discogs, when I was looking it up, I realized that the center ring right here, the label, on all of the releases, Trilogy appears here, except for the gold stamp promo, where it appears down. So it's not necessarily a white label. I don't even know if a white label exists, but this would be technically an official promo. It wouldn't have been like a inline that they just stamped the cover for. I think this one was specifically made for a promo. Like I said, Yngwie's third. What needs to be said about Yngwie? I mean, either you know him or you don't, and if you don't, you should. Incredible shredder. Obviously, he took it a little bit more as a classical training on guitar, and just married it extremely well. Mark Bowles is on vocals on this one. I think was it Ring of Fire? Is that what he's in? I think that's what he's in now. But anyway, just killer album. Glad to have more Yngwie. Missed out on a couple of his other earlier ones, but I'm still looking. I'm still adding. But this one is another one I played a boatload. So I'm glad to have this one back. So, like I said, short and sweet and dirty. That's kind of how she likes it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being stupid. It's really late and I'm tired. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody who's been still commenting and watching and subscribing. It really means a lot that, you know, there's people out there who really could, you know, really have an opinion or care about what the hell I say. Because I'm just a dude. That's really all I feel like I am. So, but I do want to share, thank you everybody on the positive feedback of the name change. It just felt like I wanted to incorporate more of what I do. But I have been showing more of what I've been listening to, whether it's newer stuff, and sometimes I don't show all the new stuff because I want to share some surprises here on the video. But even some of the stuff I'm just randomly pulling from the collection. I am showing it on Instagram. If you want to check out there, it's DJ_High Noon. That hasn't changed. I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it as is. But it's a great way that if you want to just shoot me a message and just chew the fat or whatever, or, you know, look at my pictures and go whatever you want to do. I'm just being stupid at this point. So everybody, thank you so much. Hopefully everybody's being safe and being well out there. Just take care of yourselves. Love you all. Have a good weekend. Peace.